the things that we set for in our relationship is what's going to help us last as a unit. Having our own foundation of how we're going to govern our relationship, regardless of what everyone else is doing.
I can get advice from my friends. I can get advice from other people. But at the end of the day, everybody's relationship is its own fingerprint.
A lot of times people struggle with not having space because they don't have shit to do.
As a man, saying I need space is dangerous. I also think, too, your partner can be like, hey, I need some space. I kind of feel like it might kind of be like, where are you at with it? If you be like, all right, go get that. It's going to be like, oh.
So it's almost like
Test.
a test.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's just.
It's almost like a statement and a test.
Yeah, it's a statement and it's a test, because it's like, I feel like when a woman decides to be with you, it's always a fight for me, though.
I'm Simeon Pando.
Victoria Monet.
Tank.
Melvin Gregg.
This is another episode of Nice and Neat.
I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon.
Welcome back to another episode. Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon, and this is another episode of the #1 podcast in all of Los Angeles, Nice and Neat. What's going on, family? How y'all doing? I want y'all to think about for a second. Listeners, viewers, you can't listen or view or do anything else, right? That's kind of it. That's it. Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad that you guys reflected on how you guys are doing. I'm going to ask my brothers now. You guys got some get up. I don't know what made you guys wear these matching outfits today.
Chill out.
Man.
Chill out. We're not matching.
Hey,
we're not matching.
Hey.
Don't be mad because clearly you ain't get the memo.
Hey,
clearly you ain't get it.
I mean, all I know is this ain't Texas. Ain't no hold'em. Hey, man, y'all really can't. Like, are y'all part of the Beehive? What's going on? Hey, can y'all kick y'all shoes up and show them on camera? What's going on?
Oh, man.
What's
Got
going
the
on?
boots on.
Boots.
Are y'all
Boots.
beehiving?
Boots.
Do y'all know the square dance that they got to the dance, or what's going
Man.
on?
I don't know
No.
it, but we can learn it.
No.
Jesus.
TikTok it.
This ain't Texas.
Yeah, I'm not
Ain't
part of
no
it.
Hold up.
down, 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 down. Man, okay, dude.
Now look, I mess with Beyonce. I like Beyonce, right? Me and Chanel was actually listening to her catalog recently, like in depth.
Don't put this on Chanel, man.
In depth. Am I a part of the Beehive? No, I'm not a part of the Beehive, but I respect Beyonce. That's all I got to say. You know what I'm saying? What can I say this though?
I may be an honorable member.
I'm about to say, what's your affiliation,
I may be an honorable member of the Beehive.
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 But I guess okay. If your woman is a fan of something, are you default a fan of something too, or no?
No, I wouldn't say so. There's a couple of different things that Candace is a fan of now that they're not my flavor.
Yeah.
You know, but I do give some I give a lot of false enthusiasm whenever something. Let's say if it's a particular artist comes on, if it's Beyonce, I give false enthusiasm.
J-Lo.
Like, J-Lo.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, babe, J-Lo along.
Let's watch it.
Let's get on.
You know what? That's fair. That's
You
fair.
know what I mean?
Because our women do it with our teams.
Yeah, of course.
What make you think my girl's a 49er fan?
Only you, brother.
Slow down, Turbo. Okay.
Only you, brother.
But our women do it with our teams, and we're gonna be kind of answering an audience question, but I want you guys to be able to insert yourself in this space for this episode as well. We'll leave the Beyonce jokes behind us, guys, and we'll just move forward. Okay.
That sounds good. Sounds like a good idea.
Okay. Duke, you got the hat on. It's gonna be hard for me to just. All right. I'm gonna ask you guys. This was an audience question. I want you to answer it for the audience, but I also want you to insert yourself for real. Does space in your relationship, I guess we can frame it, do you guys, will allowing space in your relationship yield success? And I mean space, so whether it's, you guys define space how you want to define space.
With space, yield success.
Yes. Like, if your partner came up to you, because I feel like the question is, it can go anywhere, right? So I'm going to ask you, if your partner came up to you and they say, I need space, what does that mean to you?
Yeah. I'm going to interpret it as she needs to spend time away from me. that's what I'm gonna interpret. Like, oh, I need to go on a trip, or I need to, I need to get away from you. That's how I'm gonna receive it. And if you're not really in tune with your emotions, that really affects you. Okay, but I don't think space always is literally I want to get away from you. I said, okay, if you want space from me, you could take space away from me in small ways. Like, we don't have to watch TV on the same couch all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to be up every time we're in the house and I'm not doing nothing and you're not doing nothing. We don't have to be together. Take your space. Go do something that you want to do. Like, we don't have to text all day. That's space. You know what I mean? Like, just having just the mental space. Like, nah, you good. Go to the gym. Go do that's space. But if she come to me and say, hey, we need space, then I'm gonna ask, okay, well, why do you feel like you need space? And what type of space are you talking about? Because if you really need space, we can move the furniture around. We can move the furniture around. You know what I'm saying? I can move this table, we can create space. I'm really good at organization.
Mm-hmm. Incredible.
I'm really good at organization.
I'm really good at that. We can create space. All right. But I need to know, like, what you mean when you want space? Do you need time away from me because you feel like you're losing your identity? Do you need time away from me because you need to figure things out? And we had to figure out why you want space first before it's just like, yo, go take your space. Nah.
It's funny when you say, what does that mean to you? The first thing you said was like, okay, well, maybe you need to take a trip. My initial thought was like, okay, maybe just go over there, and I'll just stay over here. I'll just stay over here, because when I hear space, to me it just sounds like I just need some time alone.
Yep.
It doesn't necessarily mean like I gotta leave here, or I need to literally spend time away from you for days at a time. It just, hey, right now, like I need some time to collect my thoughts. And I could really just use some peace and quiet.
Yeah.
And so when I hear I need some space, that's what I think about. I guess we would have to be in a rocky place for me to be like,
I need some space.
And then me to think, oh, I guess you got to go take a trip, or I guess I need to leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But considering the healthy space that my wife and I are in, if I hear that, I'm going to think, okay, well, she just needs a couple hours to herself.
Yeah.
Let me get out. Let me go take a drive, and I'll be right back.
I guess if you gotta go take a trip to get some space, you're in a bad place.
You're in a bad place.
Yeah.
You're in a bad place.
If that's the space you need.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because
that's not even taking a trip just for leisure and just because we do this once a year. That's like, I need a trip to get away and go, nah, that's a bad place. You're right. For sure.
It's funny. I saw on Instagram this couple, and they were like, the video was of this dude packing his wife a lunch and bringing it out to her, and she had like an RV, and she was doing it on the road, and it was just like the caption on the video said like, saying I need space isn't a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's healthy for our relationship, and I'm thinking like, I hear that, but like I could not imagine sending my wife off on a road trip where she's driving by herself for doesn't matter how long. That to me, that doesn't equate to good space between us
or a healthy outcome.
That to me, anything could happen.
Yeah.
Anything could happen on the road, whether something happens to you, or whether you're just in a vulnerable state. That to me, I thought that was really odd. But clearly it's something that people are constantly talking about. Space. How do they create healthy space within the relationship?
Duke, you said something that I think is extremely important.
The small spaces.
The small spaces. Yeah. I think when somebody wakes up and they want, first of all, I don't think space out of frustration is healthy.
Mm-mm.
I don't think us separating away from each other, especially if there's no violence that's being implemented, there is nothing but us trying to solve it and we just trying to figure it out, and we just can't figure it out right now. I don't think saying I need to take a sabbatical from our relationship is kind of what's going to help me, right? Now, if you just kind of go and you're like, I'm going to go grab dinner with the fellas tonight and I just need some fellas time right quick, and you come back home, that's different. But when you're like, yo, I need to go away and I need to be away and I need to think away, it's hard for me to grasp that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I feel like those moments happen when you don't take those small spaces,
right?
Of, hey, I'm going to go take a walk around the block by myself. Your partner would be like, what's wrong? Oh, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. I'm just gonna go grab this fresh air by myself. Do you want me to go? Nah, I'm just gonna go grab that, right? And I feel like small, healthy spaces of space is important. And I feel like that's when you don't necessarily need to say, hey, we need to get away from each other. I had an old head. He told me, it was like, man, we always try to ask about the secrets of success when it comes to relationships and marriage. And we all are, oh, you're married. Me and Duke, we want to be in the space of being married. And we all, at the end of the day, want to be in healthy, happy, loving relationships. So I'll just ask him, like, hey, man, like, what's the secret? And he was just like, you really want to know the secret? And he just looked at me like I was silly. I'm like, yeah, what's the secret? And he was like, don't leave. I'm like, don't leave. Like, don't leave. When you're mad, don't leave. When she's mad, don't leave. When you guys aren't getting along, don't leave. Sit in that. You guys don't got to sit next to each other, but sit in that. Sit in that. And you guys figure it out in that space, and then you guys could take some space. But take space when y'all good, though. Don't take space when y'all bad. I feel like there's a lot of mistakes that can happen.
It's crazy. In relationships, you got to almost kind of always do the hard things. And like taking space when you're in a bad spot is the easy thing to do.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like we talk about all the time about being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And that's a situation where you got to find comfort in that while you're finding space. You can't run from that. You know what I mean? It's too easy to run. We got to step up to the hard things in life, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
I also think too, your partner could be like, hey, I need some space. I kind of feel like it might kind of be like, where are you at with it? If you be like, all right, go get that. It's gonna be like, oh.
So it's almost like
test.
A test.
Yeah. I don't want to say it's just.
It's almost like a statement and a test.
Yeah, it's a statement and it's a test, because it's like, I feel like when a woman decides to be with you, it's always, but fight for me though.
Always with a woman.
Fight for me.
Yep.
Yeah, I said that, but so what? Fight for me. And I feel like we've all been in a space where our girl felt like she needed to leave, or felt like she needed to go and get some space. And it's just like, now we don't do that. And I feel like you could really set the standard and the precedence for the relationship in those tough spots. Like we had an episode where it was like, hey, yo, no matter what we're going through, like, love me. Mm-hmm. I feel like in those spaces, no matter what we're going through, I'm going to love you and I'm going to show you that I love you, but I'm not going to let you just leave. And, I don't think you should just let me leave. I don't think we should be out in this world that doesn't support our relationship while we mad at each other. I don't feel like good things come from that. And I feel like we'll put our partners, or they'll put us in spaces to have to make decisions that we shouldn't have to make.
Yeah. I think my woman can have space, but she needs to build space into her everyday life.
Yeah.
That's what she needs to do.
That's the healthy part.
That's the healthy space. And she doesn't even have to communicate that to me. She don't have to say, yo, babe, I'm doing this because I need space. No. Just take your space. Go do your Pilates.
Go do your...
why you put a question?
Pilates?
Go
get that reformer.
Go do your Pilates. Hey, I will join you. You know what I mean? Like, do things like that. Hey, you want to go to dinner with your girls? Go do that. You want to work out? Go work out. Whatever you need to do, like, just build it into your everyday life. So we don't even feel like, I don't even need to know.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't need to be, I'm not going to communicate to you, hey, I'm taking space. Right now, this is space right now.
Space.
Right now, we're doing this podcast. This is considered space.
Straight up.
Yeah. Can't wait to get home.
All right?
Straight.
A lot of times people struggle with not having space because they don't have shit to do. When you got things to do, and things that can take you away from your relationship and take your mind off your relationship.
In a healthy way.
In a healthy way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel like you're getting that space. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to get back home.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you said, I can't wait to get back to my woman. I don't need space like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think people just abuse that term and say, yo, everyone, men and women need to have their own things going on and be individuals and think, yeah, of course. But space can come in different forms. Hey, you don't want to watch this show? I don't want to watch yours either. Sometimes we compromise, but sometimes we don't. Mm-hmm. Oh, you working? Oh, we don't have to work in the same space. Sometimes it's like, hey, yo, you going to the gym today? I'm going to the gym today? All right, well, I'm going to go a couple hours later so you can drive yourself. It's little things. But just, hey, yo, I need time. I need a break from you. We got a bigger issue than the space.
Way bigger issue.
The space ain't the issue. What you running from is the issue. The thing you need space from is the issue. You don't need space from me. You probably just running from the conversation that we need to have. That's the issue. So now you can't have that. Let's talk. But in terms of just regular space, now you can have your space, but it's gonna be micro spaces. Yeah, not extended time, not extended leave. No way.
No way.
No way. Because if I go to my woman and say, I need space, she gonna slap me. What? Space for what?
Does it work? Well, don't
work both ways.
It don't work both ways.
Don't work.
It don't.
Now you gotta understand, man.
It don't work both ways.
There are
gender rules in
there
there.
are gender roles and there are gender double standards that just exist.
Hey,
and you just gotta accept that.
They just exist. As a man, saying I need space is dangerous. Much more dangerous, I should say. It's much more dangerous. I wouldn't. There's a sensitivity that women's brains operate with that handling those words wouldn't be conducive to your entirety of the relationship. Of saying to your woman, I need space. There's too much processing that will go on for her to where she's just like,
me?
Is there somebody else? What's going on? I wouldn't process my girl saying I need space like that.
No.
I was just like, she's hella emotional
Because you're a logical
right now.
person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, for a man, and I think, again, the leadership space, for a man, the leader, to say I need space. It's like,
Space what?
for what? What you talking about? So I don't think a man even has the luxury to say those words.
There's an element of you don't get to weaponize space because you kind of made this relationship happen.
Yeah.
You don't get to do that. This happened because of you.
You don't get to say that.
You don't get to bring me into this space and then say you need space.
Oof.
Nah.
Don't work like that.
Nah.
Sorry, buddy.
And then the double standards, like, hey, let's talk about double standards. I'm a firm believer in double standards.
You support double standards?
I'm a firm believer.
You support double standards?
I support double
If it was on a ballot, I'll vote for it.
Double standards. Listen. I subscribe to double standards. Double standards. There are some things that guys can do, and there's some things that women can do, and there's some things that benefit both. And I'm good with it.
Yep.
And sometimes it's gonna be your day, and sometimes it's not gonna be your day. That's it. It is what it is. People be crying about double standards. Hey, listen, I'm all for them because the way my life is set up, I've won more times than I've lost. You know what I'm saying? The way my life is set up.
I think regardless of the gender, when you're doing it right, that's the result.
So I'm fine with double standards, but my girl can't. Man, she has some space, man. We're gonna have to, hey, babe, sit down, bro. She need an acai bowl. Let me go get you something. So that's kind of how I look at it.
You need some space. Let me scoot on over. Get out your way.
Okay, but look, and so let's say my woman came to me and she said, I don't want to say my woman because we too deep in right now and it's too close to home.
Just say a couple.
Let's say a couple. I'll say this. If you're a woman and you tell a man that you want space from him and you actually take your space, don't be mad if he go find him another woman. Don't be mad.
Are they in a relationship?
Damn, are they in a relationship? Yeah. Okay.
They're in a relationship.
To me, space is like a soft breakup.
We're talking about like a year or less relationship. Like
to me, space is protecting yourself. You're gonna take the space. You guys are gonna grow apart a little bit more, and then it's gonna make it easier to say we can't do this anymore.
Yep.
So it is a soft breakup.
Anytime I've ever said I need some space, it's because I wasn't man enough to say I'm ready to break up right now.
And you said, I think I need some space.
Hella soft.
I think I need some space.
I think I need some space. You look down at the flow like
we know the game.
Y'all said that before?
We know the game.
Yeah.
Bro.
You said that before?
Yeah, I've done it
I
before.
need some space.
I've done it before.
Yeah, I've done it before.
I'm not proud of it, but I've done it before.
Because you don't.
Y'all crazy.
You just don't know how to do it.
You know how to do it. You don't want to do it.
Y'all need some space. Y'all crazy.
You don't want to do it.
Y'all crazy.
Hey, look,
Y'all crazy.
I don't think this is gonna work.
Hey.
That's different than I need some space.
Nah, because most time people gonna say, I don't think it's gonna work. I need some space. That's how they gonna introduce
this how It's not work. Hey, yo, I don't think this is gonna work. Look, what you mean you don't think it's gonna work? Well,
I just need some space.
why? I don't know. I just need some space.
Why don't people just be honest and say, I can't see us moving forward?
Because you don't learn that until you get to like our age.
Yeah.
You don't learn that.
And also too, bro. Let's be real. Like the women that you've broken up with or the relationships that you've ended in the past, like it's not because like you hated that person.
No,
you know what I mean? You
right.
actually really like that person. You just like, yo, this is it's just not working anymore.
Hey, so is I need some space the same as, hey, y'all need to figure this out. Is that the same?
Low key, they have the same dialect. Like, yeah, I need to figure this out. But saying I need space gives the person that you're talking to a little, I guess, more hope.
Selling a dream.
You selling a dream. Whereas I need to figure this out. There's like, I don't even know what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is, yo, if you tell somebody I need space, and you guys actually take space, just don't expect it to be back.
It's a break.
I'm saying,
It's
like,
not a breakup. It's a break.
Come on.
Okay.
It's a lot of babies that happen on that break.
That's real.
It's a lot of side chicks that
That's
not
real.
break. So be careful about that. If you say you want space, then really, really want space, because it's going to be hard to come back from that if you want to come back.
No, that's real.
I'm saying.
And I feel like too, if that person that's telling you need space, or the person that's telling you need space is someone that that desires you, well, you will be a fool to think that other people don't desire this person too. Like, you're not the only person that desires this person. That's not how life is set up now.
Okay, let me say this. Saying I need space in a relationship is childish. I'm just gonna say that.
Okay.
It's childish.
Okay.
If you're talking to somebody, I feel like you can say I need space.
Okay.
When you're in a relationship, you figure it out or you don't.
Yep.
I don't. As we're saying this, it is the result of running from what needs to be taken care of. Whether it's you running from a conversation, whether you running from the progression of a relationship, or you running from the breakup. Saying I need space is childish. It's childish. I know, even if our partner said in their relationship, it's the childish part of them saying that. Mm-hmm. We know that it's because it's no resolution in I need space.
Right.
There's no resolve there. What is the space going to do? It's going to give us 3 days to not talk so then we could come and revisit the conversation. I don't understand what I need space means to an adult. Mm-hmm. So
to an adult.
To an adult. Right. I don't understand what I need space means. Being serious, like all jokes aside, I don't want anybody listening to this to think that I need space is a good answer to the turmoil that you're going through in your relationship. That's not a solution to it.
Got you.
Especially if it's nothing happening to where you don't feel safe. I need space is a safety thing. I need to get out of here. I need to get away from you. I need space. You're yelling at me. I need space away from you. But
I need you to cool down.
I need you to cool down. If you need space to cool down, that's different. And that you got bigger fish to fry in that space.
You said you had a story for us?
I had an analogy.
Oh, okay, give it to us.
I was in the gym, and we last episode we talked about talking to people in the gym, mm-hmm. and I never really talked to people in the gym, but I was sharing a bench press with somebody, and he was like, "Hey man, you look familiar," and I was just like, he was like, "Are you a dancer?" I was like, "No, I don't dance." I said, "You a dancer?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "What do you do?" I said, "Oh, I have a podcast." So I showed him the podcast. So when I hit my bench, he just looked a couple videos. Mm-hmm. So he was like, seeing what we was talking about. So then we just started talking about relationships right there. Mm-hmm. Like quickly. Shit just took off. Long story short, we was talking about relationships, and we got on topic of how so many podcasters in this space talk about relationships but aren't in relationships, or marriage but aren't in these types of relationships that they be talking about. And he said he don't like it. And he was like, "You know what that's like?" He's like, it's a lot of podcasters just talking about things that they don't know what the fuck they talking about. He said, "You know what that's like?" He said, it's like It's like you at the Super Bowl, and you got the fans, and you got the people on the field. You got the fans, and you got the players. Now, all these motherfuckers that's talking shit on these podcasts, they the fans. And you know the interesting thing about these games is it's way more fans than players. But the people on the field, these are motherfuckers that know what's really going on. The fans don't know nothing. They just talking about what they think they see. But the people on the field, the players, the guys in relationships, these are guys that really know the ins and outs of relationships. And it look completely different depending on where you at. I thought that shit was so powerful because it's a fact. And I was just like, I was thinking about just the landscape of just podcasting and, you know, trying to tune out so much negative stuff. And I was just like, yo, people really have no idea about this stuff. People don't really know we talking about this space stuff and we talking about the nuances of dating. And the dating looks like it's in a vacuum when you're not in it. You know, it just looks like everything is just like romance or 50-50 conversations or this. There's so many nuances of dating, and emotionally, when you're not in it, you just speak from a very like surface level.
Yep.
And that's the fans. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I'm gonna use that one because like the players is different when you're in an arena.
I think
it's different.
Honestly, for lack of better words, bigging ourselves up. Like that's why I love our show so much. Because like we legitimately pull and speak from like real life experiences, and we're sharing our truth that we're currently living or that have lived in the past.
Yeah.
You know, like so. Just to your point, man. Like for one, I think it's a great analogy. And I love that we're actually in the field. And honestly, I wouldn't even feel confident as we do sitting up here talking for hours at a time about about relationships if we weren't in them. Honestly, I don't
know how people do it.
Me either. I wouldn't feel as confident. I will honestly be searching for the words to say, you know what I mean, on a weekly, daily basis, producing this type of content.
Actually really nice if you do that. You nice.
You
nice.
Yeah.
You pull it from not in real life experiences.
That's
nice.
incredible.
You cold.
You cold.
Yo, if you can do that, you nice.
Cold.
That's different.
I'm not.
Because
I'm not.
I'm not like that. Like we actually get to experience and dude, like you talking about these just so many nuances, and not only to the nuances is context and its tendencies, and you know it's everybody. And then you begin to really learn. I can get advice from my friends, I can get advice from other people, but at the end of the day, everybody's relationship is its own fingerprint. Everybody has different rules to their relationship. Things that fly in my relationship might not fly in yours. And things that are okay for you won't be okay for him. And it's so interesting when you see it because it could be so small to somebody who's just hearing the story, and they would now then say like, yeah, old girl be tripping because she don't think that's cool. You don't know what happened within the context of this 7 years.
Yep.
And the yeses that took place and the no's that took place and the emotions and the insecurities and the way that I built her up and the way he built me up. And these are all things that are a part of relationships that it's just like, bro, this is my journey. This is my singular.
Not yours.
This is not your journey.
Nah.
So when somebody says, as a single person, what space? And those guys sound controlling to me. Those guys sound insecure to me. Those guys sound like they don't. When you're single, everything looks how you think it's supposed to look.
Yep.
I'm sure you guys battle the same exact thing in your relationships. These are still conversations we'll have in our relationship to where it's just like, hey, yo, that perspective isn't the perspective. Like, that's not real life. To think that everything is going to be romanticized and fairy tale like that, that's not real life. Like, you know, that vacation that you want to go on, we got saved towards that. You know, like
that shit came out of my pocket.
I have to spend that, right? So there's also even people who be like, well, I'm not in a relationship, but I'm dating, so I get it. And it's like, nah, you don't wake up with that person and you don't know what their struggles are. There is still a story that the person that you're dating can still sell you, because when y'all leave each other, y'all could separate now. And they could go and do their thing, or they could go and lick their wounds that they got that you don't know about. But when you guys are in it and you guys are living in it and you guys have tenure and experiences, you can only talk to other people that have tenure and experiences, and it's still their fingerprint, but that's kind of like the space and the stories that you'll begin to cultivate. You don't have conversations with people that are in relationships that you don't desire to eventually be like, or you guys are on the same trajectory. It just doesn't work like that. I'm thankful that I could call y'all and be like, hey, yo, this is something that's going on with me. You know, what would you do in this situation? I just called Duke last week. I was like, called them like on a advice level, not just my homeboy.
Not on the homie shit.
On the advice
I need some
level.
advice
Hey,
right
yo,
now.
in this space, what would you do? This is how I thought through it. So like, think through this for me. Yeah, bro, you thought through that, but like, go ahead and lock in on this though.
Yep.
Okay. And I don't see me calling a homie who's single or a homie who's in a relationship that I don't admire to have these type of conversations.
Yeah,
You know, because
you're not thinking about nobody but yourself.
That's it. And I feel like ultimately what us as single people do when you are single, right? And when I say us, I mean when we are in the space of single, you just think of what you feel like is the normalcy rather than looking at this individual situation with context. Oh, yeah. Why can't you give her space, bro? What's the problem with giving her space? What's the big deal? And it's easy for somebody to argue that.
Yeah.
I believe in healthy space.
I believe that's why you got to be careful who you listen to. Like, I mean, obviously, you called Duke for a reason. I'm glad you called him, but sometimes maybe someone else in your shoes may feel more comfortable having that conversation with Brandon, for instance. Brandon may not have given that same sound advice. You got to be careful when you're in relationships and who you take.
You know what you're trying to hear.
You know what you're trying. You know what you did.
I've
you
learned
know why
that.
you called. You know why you called Brandon. You know what I mean? You know
what
why
you're trying to hear.
You know what you're trying to hear.
You know if you want to get something that you might not necessarily agree with, you know who to call.
Yep.
You know the way that we talk, where it's like, hey, bro, like honestly, truth be told, I feel like that's one thing that's interesting about the way that we speak to each other. I'm trying to show you where you're wrong first. Before I'm gonna be like, yeah, I do agree with that. I'm trying to show you like, I don't think you thought through that one.
Hey, because part of us is gonna always agree.
I'm gonna always agree with you.
Part of
I
us.
need to fight
Part
that.
of us.
We're gonna understand
that.
Yes.
That.
We're gonna understand.
Always.
Hey, I understand exactly what you're feeling.
Yep.
Yes.
So like, you're not crazy for feeling that.
Yep. Yep.
Because I felt that.
Yeah. But let me tell you where you're wrong at though.
But here's how you
Yeah.
can
Hey, and if I don't want to cut you that bad, hey, this is what I would do. Bro.
Hey, if I don't want to cut you,
I ain't gonna tell you what to do.
Hey, bro. It's not what you know. This is just what I would do if I were in your shoes.
That is funny.
Yeah. And I think it's important, man, I think it's crazy that I feel like we're all at an age where we put each other's relationships in front of our friendships now.
I think we're at a place where that's where it needs to be.
It has to.
Oh.
It has to. And
that's where we've evolved as friends.
And it's just like, hey, get out of here, bro.
Yep.
Yep. Hey, go do that.
Yep.
Oof. Yeah. And I love it. I love it because I feel like within that, it allows our families to be closer. It's not an individual bond anymore. It's our families can now connect and they can now relate because we have the interest of the family and not just the interest of not just the interest of Duke. So
I think what's comforting is, okay, so two things. The first thing is, no, I don't think it's comforting because if our women know, like our women know we handsome, our women know that, you know, before we were single, we used to be a certain way. All right. Our women know that, you know, we're charming and things like that. So, and our women know that we're still men. So there's a possibility of men getting around men
and doing men shit.
Right? And there's a possibility of, when they're in our face and when they're on the podcast, of course they're saying the right things. But who's to say what they do when
no one's walking?
They said they was out at 10, but they might have been out at 6.
Yep.
So they was just kicking it for 4 hours. We don't know. So that's the thing. But I do think what's comforting is them knowing that we all got things to lose, and we've all put so much work into building the things we have, and really invested a lot of things into our relationships. And our relationships are some of the most important, really the most important thing to us. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how we act and carry ourselves throughout our lives. And I think our women can attest to that. And I think that's what's comforting to say, yo, like, at least they're all like-minded, you know, they're all driven, they're all respectful, they're all, you know, they all put their women first. So I think that's the comforting thing.
Yeah, I think it is a new space, right? So the comfort is still being discovered. Mm-hmm. And I think there's layers to the discovery. I can feel it within my relationship. I can feel it within you guys' relationships. Like the comfort is being rediscovered in, honestly, the transparency that we present in who we are. I feel like as we continue to grow, even within our relationships, really, really talking to our partner about who we are and what we desire and what our friends are doing and who they are. And, you know, something as small as, oh, yeah, you know, we were in Vegas and, you know, Omar made sure he left early to make it back home to his family. That gives Brittany more context to who he is as a person and what in the value of getting back home to his family and how that looks. And it's like, oh, okay. Matter of fact, that does make sense because I did see him the next day. And okay, so you were all right, for sure. The security begins to build. And I feel like we are in kind of like the infant stages of showing our partners who we are in this space. They've experienced so much of who we are in the other space that is who we are until we not. So I feel like as now they're seeing it, they're seeing the progression, they're believing it day after day. We're becoming fathers and husbands, and we're growing in that space, and we begin to double down more and more on that space, and they hear that space more than they heard the initial space. Then, yeah, I think the security will begin to grow more. But I think it's just a new space. It's a new space. We have been, I mean, in the grand scheme of how long we were single, we've been in relationships for a very short time compared to that.
Yeah.
Compared to that. And like there was the dope thing is the splash that we made in our single life, we're trying to do in the same thing on the flip side. So I think the narrative will shift as we continue to get more tenure in there.
Yeah. I think what I've learned too is slightly unrelated, but what I've learned is how to not judge other people's relationships based on my own foundation and principles. And I think it helps me just understand that, like you said, we're all different, and not to try to impose my own expectations on your relationship or your relationship. And I would just implore people to, while they're single, do that as well, so they don't get confined to this one type of idea of a relationship, and they give themselves the margins to just form their own types of relationships that's conducive to their beliefs and their lifestyle and things like that. And I think that's helped me a lot. You know what I mean? So I don't ever feel like my relationship has to emulate yours or emulate the hottest TV couple or anything like that. And I think I've done a good job of that. And I feel like if everybody takes on that type of mindset and that approaches relationships like that, people will set themselves up in a good way.
You say that, but how do you not compare?
You figure out what exactly you want. Okay? And when I say compare, I mean, I'm not absent of a thought and then see that you have the thing that, okay, and then I'm not absent of a thought and then see that you provide the thought for me and then tell myself, okay, I want that in my relationship now.
I see.
Or we need to move like that. Or this is what they believe in, so we need to be.
This is what we on now,
so
too.
this is what we on. Okay? Even though it's directly contradicting the things that we've laid down.
Yep.
Compare, that's what I mean. So compare in terms of, hey, yo, Omar has been in his relationship for X amount of time. I've been in my relationship X amount of time. Okay, we've been in the NFL at the same time. We're the same age. We do the same things. Okay, he's getting married. Okay, yeah, like maybe we should get married, babe. When do you think we should get married? That's different. Like we start talking about marriage because our circles.
Yep.
That just happens. But having our own foundation of how we're going to govern our relationship, regardless of what everyone else is doing. Because the things that we set for in our relationship is what's going to help us last as a unit. Right? And I said this one time, it's like, you got to have your own identity so you know exactly who you are. If you're copying everyone else's relationship, then you're not going to know who you are. You're not going to know what your relationship is about. And it's going to be that much harder to maintain over the long period of time. So when I say compare, I mean just like have your own foundation and principles that you adhere to regardless. I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? He got an accent now. He got his 10-gallon on.
He got his.
Talking about, boy.
He got his giddy up on.
Yeah.
Howdy.
All right, come on, man. You got anything that you got any?
He said it, wrap it up.
You got any?
He said wrap it up.
No, I ain't got none. Oh, you got something?
Why
you looking at me like that?
Yo. Let's see. Yeah, head over to Law 17 right now. Grab your latest drip and book a session at Golden Hour Grooming. If you're in LA, you need a cut.
Yeah.
And if you need some herbs, slide on over to theculturesherb.com. Sea moss, soursop leaves tea and shit.
Melt balance.
Get you a little zing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you need a break from doing what you've been doing, come on down to Brothers. Nah. All right, for sure.
Hey, man, appreciate y'all for watching, man. Thank you for tapping in. Make sure you are subscribed to our channel. Make sure you are subscribed to our podcast channels on all your favorite streaming networks. And show some love, man. Drop some feedback. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Tap in with your boy. Man, also, man, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, go ahead, go into the description. If you have a business or maybe you're an influencer or you're an entrepreneur and you want to promote your business, we're partnering with small business owners to help you guys get your voices out there, gain awareness, get leads, and just help your business grow. All right. There's a link in our description. Hit the link, fill out the form, and apply. And that's it. Much love, much gratitude. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalan. This is another episode of Nice and Neat, and that's that on that.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old and I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundreds, pledge allegiance I stand. I'm going to pull forward.